Okay, we are going to continue on with stoichiometry. This part 2 has to do with what we call limiting reactant problems. So we are going to learn what is limiting, or it could be what is also the excess reactant or reagent. So we're going to use stoichiometry just like we've been using, and it seems like everybody's okay with that. And then we're also going to distinguish between theoretical yield, actual yield, and percent yield, and that will be in a later video. But just to distinguish a little bit, theoretical yield is what we've been calculating. Actual yield is the lab results, what you would actually get in the lab if you did this. Okay, so that's kind of the difference between the two of them, theoretical and calculated. And then when we do percent yield, it is a comparison of the two, a ratio of the two. Now, I'm not going to go through every slide here. I think you can read through these. And I did one here. I'm going to look at this visualization. If I reacted this much hydrogen with this much oxygen, notice I would have some oxygen unreacted here, okay? So that means this would be excess, okay? It was left over at the end. And really the hydrogen, the amount of hydrogen that was used here was the limiting. It limited how much water was made, okay? So I give you a couple other ones to look at, and I give you an example here with the airline industry. So our focus is determining that limiting reactant or the excess one in a reaction, and realize that the limiting one controls and it determines how much product is formed. Okay, so that's why it's important, because the one that is in the amount that produces the least product is going to be the limiting one. Here's another example. I'm not going to go through that, but I want to go through the steps of solving a problem. So notice the first thing we need to do is recognize that we have a limiting reactant problem. You'll notice this, that you will be given two reactant quantities, and it could either be grams or moles. So notice in this one, I have 50.6 grams of magnesium hydroxide, and I have 45 grams of hydrochloric acid. And I want to know how much water is formed in grams. Same steps as we had before. Write the balanced equation using stoichiometry, determine the amounts of products made for each of the reactants, so we'll do that. And then the one that produces the least amount of the product is the limiting one. The other one is in excess. So we're going to run through this. So here's my equation for that reaction. First thing we need to do is balance. So if I balance it, it looks like it's this and this. Okay? I like to write above what I have for each of the substances so I don't mix them up. I have that many grams of this, and then I had 45 grams of this. So I'm asking how much of this, and I want to know how much water is going to be produced over here, okay, in grams. And then this one, I would go, how much of this and how much water would this one produce? Okay, so I need to calculate both of those, so it's really just the stoichiometry. So if I set this up for the first one, 50.6 grams of magnesium hydroxide. Now, I've previously calculated my molar masses here, so I'm just going to plug those in. I know 1 mole of this, and we know how to figure out molar mass. It's just summing up the atomic masses. It's 58.33 grams of magnesium hydroxide. Times. The next thing I look at is what's my mole ratio. It's a 1 to 2, because this is the one I'm asking for. So I'm going to go 2 moles of water to 1 mole of magnesium hydroxide. So I got to get moles of magnesium hydroxide to cancel out, just like I got grams to cancel out. Then I need to go, I'm at moles of water, so I know 1 mole of water is equivalent to 18.02 grams of water. And I can set that ratio up. I can multiply through, and my answer comes out to be 31.3 grams of water. That's what I would produce with 50.6 grams of magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so I'm going to do the other part. If I had 45 grams of hydrochloric acid times, same setup, convert to moles. And this is 36.46 grams of HCl times the mole-to-mole ratio. It looks like it's a 2 to 2. So it's going to be 2 moles of water, because that's what I'm looking for, to 2 moles of HCl. Get this to cancel. This is canceling. Times, then I'm back to moles of water, so I got to go 1 mole of water and convert it to grams is 18.02 grams of water. Doing my math through there, I got 22.2 grams of water. Okay, this is the least amount produced, least product produced. So that means, which one did I use to calculate that? HCl? HCl is limiting. So HCl is controlling how much water is being produced. Okay? So that's how we figure that out. So the next one, another reaction. Aluminum reacts with iodine gas forming aluminum iodide. Calculate the following. The first time they gave you moles, and then the next time they gave you grams, and then at the end they want to know how much of the excess is left over in part B. They're comparing it to part B. So we're going to set this one up. We're going to start out with the equation. So the equation for this one is aluminum, and it is a solid, plus iodine gas yields aluminum iodide, and it would be a solid. Okay, I need to balance. It looks like I need a 2 here, a 3 here, and a 2 there. So now it should be balanced. Okay, now I'm going to write my amounts here. So notice I was given 2 amounts, 1.20 moles of aluminum, and I was given 2.4 moles of iodide, right? And I want to know, I think it asked for how many moles of this are produced, okay? Notice I have 2 amounts here of the different reactants. I got to do a limiting reactant problem. So I got to solve this one compared to how much of this would be produced, and then I got to solve this one compared to how much this would be produced. Okay, so setting those up. And they ask for this in moles, so we're just going to use moles. So it's 1.20 moles of aluminum times, oh, this is nice, it's a 2 to 2, it's not a 1 to 1 ratio, so we have 2 moles of Al(I3) to 1 to 2 moles of aluminum. We can see it's going to end up to be 1.20 moles of Al(I3). Okay, so 2 to 2 is a 1 to 1. So then if I do it for the other one, so this is problem A. So if I do it for the other one, I have 2.40 moles of iodine times, it looks like it's a 2 to 3 ratio, 2 moles of Al(I3) to 3 moles of I2. Remember, this has to be down here to get this to cancel here. I do my math for this, it looks like my answer is 1.6 moles of Al(I3). Okay, so which one is my limiting one? In this case, it would be this one. So in other words, aluminum is limiting. It's producing the least amount. Okay, so in other words, that's how much aluminum iodide would be produced. Okay, so in the next one, they want to know how much would be produced if you had 1.2 grams and 2.4 grams. So I'm going to change these. So this time, this is 1.20 grams, and this is 2.40 grams. Okay, so there's a little more steps in this because we're at grams. So if I did this one, I'd have 1.20 grams of aluminum. Using my stoichiometry, 1 mole of aluminum. Get back to where I was. 1 mole of aluminum is 26.98 grams of aluminum times, then I got to look at my mole to mole ratio. It looks like it's a 2 to 2. Okay, 2 moles of Al(I3) to 2 moles of aluminum times, do my canceling here as I'm moving along, 1 mole of Al(I3), figuring out the mass, the molar mass of that is 407.68 grams. doing my math through here, I got 18.1 grams of AlI3. Okay, so that was figuring it out if I used 1.2 grams of aluminum. So I have to do the other problem. If I use 2.4 grams of iodine times, got to convert it to moles, 1 mole of iodine, remember it's I2, is 253.8 grams of iodine times, looking at my mole to mole ratio, I believe it was a 3:2. This is 3, this is 2. So I'm going to put that in here. So 2 moles of AlI3 to 3 moles of I2. Go to my canceling. And then I need 1 mole of AlI3. It's going to be that 407.68 grams. And my answer comes out to be 2.57 grams of AlI3. Okay, in this case, this one produced the least. So when I use grams, that means iodine must be the limiting. I2 is limiting. Okay, so that clarifies that for us. Now, part C asked us, how much excess was left over? Okay, so how much excess was left over? So we want to know how much remains. So we can use the law of conservation of mass. So in other words, the mass used, consumed, has to equal the mass made. So on this, our mass made, we would have made aluminum iodide. And the amount that should be made is that 2.57 grams equals, we consumed iodine plus aluminum. And this was the limiting. Since this one was the limiting, you used 2.40 grams of it, correct? Plus something here, okay? So if I take this and subtract 2.40 here, don't I get 0.17 grams? That's how much I would have used of the aluminum. This is how much would have been used or consumed. So in other words, how much aluminum did I have available? I had 1.0 I don't know, for some reason my board doesn't want to write. I had 1.2 grams available. Subtract the 0.17 that I would have used. I should have excess of 1.03, right? Because I had available 1.2 grams, but I only consumed, this is how much right here that I consumed, is the 1.7. So that's what would be left over as far as excess. Okay? Hopefully this will get you through those problems, and then I should be able to do another video on percent yield.